This is our curriculum consultant Aarti Rajaratnam. Ma'am, would you throw some light on the upcoming exams for our 10th grade and 12th graders? How do they overcome the anxiety of exams, ma'am?
Firstly, board exams. For grade 10, they're slightly different from grade 12 attitudinally, because in grade 10, this is my first board exam.
Yes.
So I don't know what to expect. However, when I'm in grade 12, I've already had an experience of writing a board exam, but I still need a lot more preparation because this is going to prepare me for something that's more long term, like my decisions for my
career and
things like that. So let me take it very systematically. Exams are always to be prepared right through the year. This is not something that you can do in the last minute cramming, as we call it, especially for the board exams. In all other classes, you can manage the cramming, but not for grade 10 and 12.
But once you're used to cramming, how will you be able to prepare through the year? Because if that's worked for you, how will you, get away from something from a known to an unknown habit?
So if you've really noticed, in our own curriculum, we've been working right through the year with periodic support. Having said that, coming back to the preparation that the student can focus on, what students need to realize is that their sleep habits have to be regular.
But at that age, ma'am, as teenagers, how many do have that habit of sleeping on time? It's almost like cool to sleep late in the night or study till late in the night.
Most of this generation, or most of the teenagers in this generation, are owls. They do study better in the night, because their brain is wired that way. However, even if that is true, they need to have an optimal and a regular time for sleep, because a lot of repair work happens in the brain, especially in stressful periods. The natural reset mechanism is in sleep, and when children deprive themselves of sleep, they don't have access to that repair mechanism that's required. That's the first thing. Secondly, they need to have protein-rich food, because a lot of energy is being spent. They do require protein-rich food, but then it has to be healthy protein. And by healthy protein, I mean that it must not be just the junk and the fried foods kind of thing, but a good meat or a vegetarian source where they're able to access energy. The third and the most important aspect of this is to set a routine. For any good performance, routine is essential. Because if I need to override anxiety or regulate anxiety, I need to be able to fall back on these three routines of sleep, of nutrition, and the third, which is my study habits. Now, there is a very big difference between fear and anxiety. And before the exams, depending on my previous performance, you can determine if I'm going to experience fear or I'm going to experience anxiety. So if I've failed before, I'm likely to experience fear. If I'm actually the class topper, I'm going to experience anxiety.
True.
Because one, I've thought through it, the other one, I've experienced it. There's a difference between fear and anxiety. So if it is fear, then it's very important for parents and teachers to support the student with regular practice sessions and work. If it is anxiety, I need to support the child by giving them relaxing downtime. Because one will change as a habit, the second will change as a set of thoughts.
One more question I have. As board exams in India are very crucial, I'm sure students have a lot of external pressure and expectations for them to achieve or do better. How do students handle this pressure, ma'am?
A lot comes from the parents. So I would actually first request parents to also become aware, cognizant of this. But when students realize that there is a lot of pressure, learning specific techniques to reduce anxiety helps for a lot of children. One is, to be able to tune out all of this instead of distracting the self. What happens to a lot of children is they're overwhelmed by all this pressure, and therefore they go on to a gadget or something to just stay distracted so that they don't have to deal with what this is. So as opposed to this, if they start breaking down their tasks, reaching small targets every day, it helps in the long run. Most important is when they work out something or write a test or something, when the results come, to look at it as a healthy feedback loop and not as a judgment of their performance. Because if I look at it as a healthy feedback loop, I look at what I can improve in the 1 month that I have, so that I don't make the same mistakes again. As opposed to if I look at it as a judgment, then I'm going to experience more anxiety because I'm going to feel like a failure. So if I were to summarize very quickly what students can do: 1, routine, that's the most important. 2, regular habits for study, and to use any assessment as a feedback. Okay. The most important is in terms of study skills, to sit facing a plain wall, to have a chunked down material that they can work with, and most importantly, to understand that if they sort of get stuck with something, even while performing a test or writing the exam, to slow down, to breathe in, calm down, and then start again. Because when they are in a stressed state, accessing or recalling information becomes that much more difficult.
Thank you so much for those tips. I hope this helps the students. Wish you all the best for the upcoming board exams.